As actors know, since COVID, the self-tape situation has gotten a little out of hand. It's all we're doing now, and some of us are very happy about that. Some of us are struggling with our setups. I'm very excited to be showing you a way to really streamline that and make your life a lot easier and save a lot of time. I feel very lucky right now because we are able to bring you to the beautiful home of Michael Cioni, who is the head of innovation at Adobe. You came on at Adobe because of Frame.io, correct?
That's right, just a little while ago.
Okay, can you tell us about Frame.io? What is Frame.io?
You know, Frame.io is a cloud collaboration platform that's designed to connect collaborators with content creators. And we all know that we work in the cloud all the time, but getting your assets for professional use in the cloud, it's kind of hard. Sending, recording, transmitting, sharing, commenting, these are all problems that our founders, Emery and John, pioneered. And it turned out it was a good idea. And everybody needs a cloud solution that's really intuitive and for professional use. And that's what Frame.io is.
Cool, because, I mean, if we're talking on a large scale, historically, the path of delivering footage is like hard drives, right? Those big silver ones with the orange stuff around them. So that's kind of what Frame.io is trying to move away from.
Part of that's my passion.
Okay.
For more than, since I dropped out of college probably, I've just been really thinking about how to automate the workflow for creatives. Okay. And I just believe that the more automation that we can have the courage to explore, the more control creatives have over the material.
Right.
What drives me is the idea that we as creatives have to collaborate with each other. But when something you're in charge of leaves your grasp, you're losing a little bit of control because somebody else is going to put their fingerprints in it. And when they share it, someone else puts their fingerprints. You have this cascading effect. And while we understand it takes a village to make a movie, what the best filmmakers want to try to do is make that village as tiny as possible so they have the most control over everything that's happening. And this is the nature of good technology. It should be allowing people to reduce the footprint of collaboration to just the core creatives that you want to work with. And that's just been driving me forever. It's not to eliminate necessary people, it's to give the necessary people more control so that they feel like they're really owning the product they're building.
Right, it saves time as well.
As a default, things are faster, and that's usually a good thing.
That's really great, yeah. You mentioned you dropped out of college. What did you do after you dropped out of college? What was your next step?
It was a beeline from Chicago to Los Angeles.
You knew you wanted to be here.
I did. Okay. You know, like many of us, I think what separates creatives is many of us that do this know we wanted to do this since we were 11. Right. A lot of industries don't have that advantage. People kind of find their way into a career. Some people struggle with what their calling may be. I think creatives at heart know this is our calling, and we kind of make a decision early on. Right. Now, I'm not an advocate for getting rid of scholastic learning. I'm a big proponent. In fact, I get to speak at universities all the time, and I love that. But learning in a university isn't necessarily ideal for everybody. It's not fit for everyone. And the problem is, for me, I was a very poor student. C's and D's through high school, very struggled a lot. Very poor test taker. I look at 4 answers in multiple choice and I'm like, oh, these all seem pretty good. Like, I don't really see the differences. And essentially what happens is the technique of teaching itself is kind of geared towards a type of brain that learns that way. And I think when you're very right-brained, it may not work as well. It's a little bit harder, and I'm very visual and very audible. And if you give me a blank piece of paper and the teacher says, do everything starting with a blank sheet of paper and write it all, the whole class moans, except I'm like, yes, I have a chance. Because I can let my imagination and my, and the oral way of communicating and visual way. When it's a multiple choice test, I'm doomed. So school for me was more about being actionable and working and creating projects. And then one day we realized, why don't we just try to make a living at this? And me and my 4 closest friends in school just left and headed out west.
Okay. And did you make a living?
We did. We did all right. We all did all right. And more important than making a living, which is part of the value of working, but making a living is more a result. Right? Like, what's important is people say, well, I need to do a job to make a living. Well, I would ask people, why do you do this job? Why did you pick this job? And if your answer is to make a living, you can make a living doing way easier things than working in media and entertainment.
Right.
So why did you pick this? And if you picked it for something more personal. And if you understand that personal reason and then you work hard and you're good at it, earning a living is a result of that, not an objective.
And you were always interested in post-production?
You know, I was interested in post-production, but what I found is that post-production is this area that people weren't very proficient in. They got tangled up and confused. And that inadvertently became an opportunity. In any industry, whatever it is, if there is some form of transition, a technological change, and it's confusing and misunderstood, you can make money. It's a really easy trick, right?
Right, okay.
Find a technological change, find people that are confused by it, become a master of that information, and people will pay you for it. It's very simple. And technological change, thankfully, is ripe across all sorts of markets. And in our industry, it's a constantly evolving, changing technological thing. And one of the things that I think actors specifically, and this story being about, this show being about actors and cinematographers, there are 2 things about actors and cinematographers that are really intense and very similar. And that is, actors have to be the representative of themselves. And they become, in a way, little mini entrepreneurs because they have to build a business. Themselves is their business, their look, their talent, their approach. This is who they are. You're selling yourself.
I would argue that they're not mini entrepreneurs. They're entrepreneurs and they're selling them.
I agree with that.
Okay.
What they generally don't have is like 50 employees, but they're one business.
Yeah.
You are your business. Cinematographers, while they have to do a similar side to that, they have to understand the latest and greatest tool sets to make their images look as good as possible to stand out. And both groups are sort of working as individuals, trying to get work with what makes them special or different. So there's a lot of kindred spirits between these 2 things, and these are great disciplines. But what I find is that the opportunity for understanding technology has always been an opportunity to accelerate your personal agenda, your personal skill set. And what a lot of people do that is a misnomer is they say, well, that's not my job. That's somebody else's job. Or I don't need to know that because someone else knows that. Or I'm not technical. That's the worst thing you can say. We live in a world that is driven by technology. And if you think it's hard now, you're going to be really disappointed.
It just keeps getting more technical.
It's going to get more technical. And right-brain people often struggle with that. And I'm one of them. I am known today as a technologist and a futurist, but the secret is it doesn't come naturally. I have to work harder to exercise my left brain to try to make those attributes come and understand what's going on. If actors and cinematographers can understand what new technological changes are emerging, you can learn how to exploit them for your benefit. And it can make you better at your craft if you just understand what is changing, because chances are someone else hasn't figured it out yet. And that's called a competitive advantage.
Right.
And it's not purely just about my look or my feel or my performance or my cinematography. How did you get there? And did you do it better than someone else? And is there something unique about it? And when the answer is yes, it may in fact come from some competitive advantage you have by exploiting the look, the feel, the speed, right? If you're an actor, if you can shoot a better self-tape, higher quality, and turn it in quicker, all of those are a competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
Being better at those things won't make you a better actor, but they give you a better chance at getting in front of the right people. Likewise, if you're a cinematographer, if you're able to find the best technology, you create your own style, your own looks, your own lens package, your own filter profile, then you create an image and you have a good social presence, then people see that. And it's not that actor A or cinematography B are the best in the business, but they're able to present themselves quicker, faster, and appear to be exploiting opportunities. That competitive advantage is sometimes all you need to sort of tip.
Yeah, and that actually is one thing that I really want to talk about today is there is a technological change that actors can exploit right now, and that is Frame.io. How do you think that an actor could use that to kind of change their workflow and make them faster and give them kind of an edge?
It's a great question. So the technology that I've been spearheading now is called Camera to Cloud.
Right.
And the mission and vision of Camera to Cloud is to eliminate those little silver and orange hard drives you were talking about.
Okay.
Because if you imagine going to the Apple store and buying a hard drive, the hard
Right.
drive shelf is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and there's less there because more and more people are starting to use the cloud.
They are harder to find.
That's, in a way, a good thing.
Okay.
But when it comes to shooting high-quality video, it's still kind of hard. You have to use hard drives and download, and you know, actors specifically are using their phones as their primary recording device most of the time, which is great. Cinematographers use their phones to do scouting and testing and things like that, so that's great. So the phone is a great resource.
Right.
But getting things off the phone is really hard, and it's really kind of a pain. And then my biggest problem with the phone as a tool is it's mixing. You don't have separation of church and state. You're mixing pictures of your birthday party
Your life.
with your job.
Right.
And then it becomes hard to figure that out. And you know, you have people, you have scripties on set taking pictures of monitors for time code reasons mixed in with the bar mitzvah, right? It's really disappointing. And this is a bad thing. The availability and accessibility of an iPhone is great, but the mixing of it with your personal life is really messy. And then if you want to share it, you need an iCloud account or you need to share it, and it just becomes complicated.
Right.
Camera to Cloud is a tool inside of Frame.io. And it simply connects cameras, whether cinema cameras like these or phones, to your Frame.io account. And then everything transmits right into Frame.io. And you invite your collaborators inside your Frame.io world. And your footage is there, your stills are there, your frame references, your location scouts, your rough cuts. It's all in one space. And everything is taggable for your team to kind of collaborate with.
Can we rewind a little bit and just for actors who've never seen anything like this, can you explain what camera to cloud technology is?
Can I
What does
demo
that
it
do?
for you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a nice little adapter that I find is easy to
Fun.
use.
Okay.
And, you know, it allows you to connect your phone. But I just have a regular phone here. And I'm gonna hit record on my phone so we can record the actual visual. And what I have is an app called Filmic Pro.
Okay.
Filmic Pro is an app that you can pay for weekly or annually, so it's like a license application. But this is like a professional version of an iPhone app, and I have professional exposure, all the tools that you would want as a professional to be able to utilize. But I also, if I go to the settings, I can see there is a Frame.io integration. And now Frame.io is connected into my Filmic Pro account. So every time I record a take, it's gonna send it right to my Frame.io account. So if I record here and we see Indy recording our little setup right there, and then we get a shot of you right there, and then we hit cut, it's gonna upload this take directly to the cloud. And what that means is I can just go right into Premiere Pro, which is part of the Frame.io system. I'm gonna hit record on my screen here. And if I go into Premiere Pro and I go to today's date, I see a video asset and I see Michael's Filmic Pro, and already right there, the shot that we just shot is here, and I can import that file, and I can basically bring this into Frame.io. So
It's right there.
It's right there.
You didn't download, you didn't upload, you didn't airdrop
It's
it
automatic.
to yourself.
And now I'm in a timeline.
And we see Indy recording
And you can
our little
start
cinema frame.
editing.
And now I can start editing right now, and then I can share it, I can change it, I can manipulate it, and this is the entire automation of this to make it frictionless.
Guys, that was 5 seconds from hitting stop to editing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't also like save what you shot to your photos.
You can decide how to do that. You can create
But
a
it
separate
doesn't have
library.
to.
It doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to take up storage, but your tapes no longer have to take up storage space on your phone.
And the beauty is if you go through and delete assets in your phone, you don't have to worry about them being deleted in the originals because that's in your frame account.
Because it's there.
Separation of that church and state right there.
Keeps
And so,
everything safe.
yeah. So now you have the ability to make all these things happen quicker. And we just demonstrated with a phone, but of course this material can be done with cinema cameras, and if you use mirrorless cameras like DSLRs, a lot of people have those.
Right.
These are all attributes that make it easy to integrate a higher quality camera if you're not using your phone.
And this technology is being used on actual sets, large projects.
Yeah, shooting to the
So-
cloud is new. It's very new, but it's taking off because people see the value of the speed and the control and the collaboration. It kind of just like makes sense.
You have productions using this.
Yeah, almost
it's-
7,000 I think to date.
Yeah, it's not like it's a new thing and you're gonna lose half of your tapes. This is being used industry standard on the new end.
It's certainly what I would tell people is this is a technological certainty that we are going to be shooting everything to the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm saying for cinematographers and actors, but also editors and directors, is to get on board with new cloud emerging technology and learn to manipulate it and leverage it for yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of fight and resist and say, well, I'll wait till it's used by everybody. That's going to take a while.
Well, and it's so simple too. It's very user friendly, and just can make your daily workflow of creating a tape so much quicker, so much easier.
You're selling it for me.
Amazing. The way things go right now, you shoot a tape, you edit everything together, you upload it, and if your rep sees it and doesn't like it, they'll ask you to do it again. So a lot of the time you're changed out of your outfit already, you've put everything away. So you're saying that with this, there's potentially a world where you shoot the take, it uploads immediately, and your rep can watch it and say, actually, I need this or this.
In fact, if you've already added your rep to your Frame.io account, they would get a notification on their Apple Watch the second it uploads.
Amazing.
And they would know to click on that and would take them right to your tape. And of course, your reps, it's in their interest that you're fast to making adjustments too. They don't want to wait, well, I'll get to it later, right? That's not in anybody's interest because they want you to get it too. And so the idea of using the expedited time of shoot, camera to cloud, Frame.io, instant share collaboration, and all that's automatic, you don't have to even write the email, attach the link, wait for it to upload. It's already done. Your phone is it's a modem. It's online. So it's just moving that asset automatically to the cloud. And Frame.io can trigger a notification to anyone you want in your collaborative circle.
That is so fast and so convenient. This makes collaboration and connection so much more accessible to everyone. As we're building this community, we can bring in reps, we can bring in agents, we can bring in casting directors, and it just makes it that much easier for an actor to build that community, build that team, because there's no downloading, uploading, waiting any longer.
And you don't have to figure out where to put your own storage and like, where do I put stuff? How do I organize it? How do I find it?
Yes.
Everyone is we are such a disposable cloud technique right now where people just put it in there, they get it somewhere, and then they don't manage it, they don't clean it, they don't know how to keep track of it, and then you can't find it again.
Right.
This whole system is designed to automatically do those things for you.
Does it for you.
So that maintenance, that organization, it's putting everything in the kitchen in the right slot so that you can find it again. We are notoriously bad about that when we're talking about video and audio and photo assets. Frame.io and Camera to Cloud are designed to help professionals focus on the creative stuff, and we'll sort of organize it in the background.
That's so great. So potentially this can allow an actor who's trying to live and work and also be an actor to do more tapes in a week, to receive more tapes, less stress, not have to turn things down because they have more time.
Not only is that the case, I actually think that when you have the power of that phone in your pocket and the power of Camera to Cloud tied to it, it actually means that you can be anywhere and still get it done. So if you're in a situation where the right opportunity pops up and you're like, I'm not where I need to be to get this correct, I'm either out or I'm on vacation or I'm just not by my normal resources. Normally you look at that, you go, I'm just gonna miss out on this one. This isn't, I don't have the right things here. What are you talking about? You have a phone and an internet connection. Those are the ingredients you need. And if you can just find a way to get that phone stable and do it, you don't have to be anywhere. And people do this in their cars, people do this anywhere. And if the information and the performance is done quicker, that's the competitive advantage that this enables.
So with Frame.io, the technical and software doesn't have to seem so scary for actors.
No, like the best technology should be invisible.
Right.
Right? That's the best stuff we use. It's really easy to navigate. And with products like Filmic Pro, while they have the ability to have total control over your camera, it can also be set in auto mode. So it's gonna auto expose, just like you're used to, auto focus, just like you're used to, but it's gonna also automatically record and transmit and share that file, which you're not used to, which is gonna give you that leg up.
An edge. So to get started, what does an actor need at Frame.io?
One of the challenging things about actors is you have so many additional things you have to pay for and buy. And you got to decide which ones are going to give you the most value to help you get better at your craft. Frame.io has a free version, and it has all the way up to middle and large versions as well. For Camera to Cloud that we showed, you just need the lowest paid plan. I think that's $15 a month for a user. And so it's designed to be entry level and available, and it comes with storage, and it's something that is a pretty low barrier to entry to start activating this workflow.
Comes with storage. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go into my self-tape setup to further demo how we can utilize this.